27 easy ideas to do when you're bored in Minecraft. Minecraft's a great game, but we don't always know what we're supposed to do in it. So why not start with something simple like this, fishing. As you can see, just getting a nice music disc, your fishing hook, and just hanging out. It's not a bad way to spend an afternoon. Ah, there you go. This will speed it up. Is this true in real life? Do fish actually like rain better when you're fishing? I have no clue. But there you go. Fishing's not a bad idea. You can even do a little fishing contest with your friends. I got a salmon and a pufferfish. All right, we don't have a point system, so I'm going to say that I win, but it was close. You did well, but it was close. Over here, we've got not only a couple of dead fish, but also an uphill AFK machine. AFK machines used to be all the rage because you would get kicked from servers for inactivity, but now we don't see them as much. Though the idea of building something like this, which lets you just go and do a little water slide, lazy river style thing, is fun. And I mean, this is a very simple idea of it. You could make this go all kinds of ways. You can even make this just go up to your base if you want like a passive elevator. We've shown that off in the every staircase you can make in Minecraft video. I think it's pretty handy, even if your hands aren't on the keyboard. Ooh, as you're gonna see here, we've got a bunch of cool looking plants, and that goes into this point, which is just, if your world's starting to feel a little bland, go plant foliage around it. I mean, you might not get observers growing on yours like I do, but just by adding in little things like glow lichen here and there, some of the rarer ones like the pitcher plant could be cool, or just adding extra little sparks of bone meal and color to your world really makes it more exciting. Just little sparks of color here and there, glow lichen if you want to light up the place without having to add in torches. That'll just stop some mobs from spawning outright. Now we've got things like resin, which you can use as a way of like making your bushes seem even cooler. You have a regular set of leaves, like if I got my jungle leaves here, add on resin, and now it looks like its own kind of berry bush. Look at that. And now it feels pretty different. Maybe a little overgrown, but you know. And that's not the only kind of things that we have to plant, because we could also replant the block where Observer just broke, as well as planting farm fields is really fun. One of my favorite things to do when I'm just not sure what I'm doing in my world is just to go through, harvest all my crops, see the kind of yield that I got, and go and plant new ones. It's an easy place to start if you don't know what to do. And sugarcane is especially satisfying to go against. Just break all of them. You can make automatic ones, or just manual is fun too. And if you're gonna do this, I will mention, if you break all these crops with a fortune tool, even if it's just your fortune pickaxe, you will get a slightly better yield. I mean, not if Observer steals it. Then you get no yield. And a broken part. Oh, rubbing it in my face so nicely, huh? All right, Observer, show me your farming roots. Marvelous. That was well done. Good harvest. You see this, Observer? Well, the truth is that this light only is going to turn on at night. And by building these night lights, I think this is a really cool way to decorate your roads. Like here, we're using black concrete powder for the streets. And just decorating a few of these here with these inverse daylight detectors is very fun. By the way, I'm always going to say daylight sensors. That's how I remember them being. Old habits die hard. But then, when it's daytime, you don't have to worry about the light, because there's no mobs that are going to spawn anyway. And while we're doing it like this, you could be a little bit more subtle if you wanted to. You could do something like, let's say we want to hide it within some kind of foliage or whatever. And then, at nighttime, we get light sources. Oh, look, with Pathland, it lights up even without having to see it. That's pretty cool. And a perfect place to put this is building roads. And apparently a lot of trees. This look like the kind of things you have to use cut on in Pokemon. But connecting up your areas with all these different roads, this is like a little microcosm. We got our little houses here and the trees that grow alongside. That's really cute. But connecting up your place with roads, one of them, which we're never going to get a chance to show otherwise, so I'll go do it here, is Observer made this beautiful road that connects the observatory to the mod showcase set. And so having these just make it a lot better if you ever want to show your world to someone else for them to experience. Like I know when we wanted to prep the July series world, we added a few of these in because we wanted to have just a nice way for people to know where to be going. Because what's obvious to you might not always be obvious to someone else. It might be handy the next time you want to get someone over to your farms. Here, everything's a farm, so it's pretty easy to go over to this. We've got an automatic lava farm. So if you're ever tired of going and mining for all of your coal, setting up one of these is going to be handy the next time that you just don't want to go over to the nether. We can cook up all of our raw rabbit, That'd be awesome. Let's go for a ride, Observer. So long. Yeah, and I think just building roller coasters, especially because we're going to get all the minecart changes coming up soon, having the ability to set these up to connect different parts of your base, even if you're not building something fancy like a piston bolt, you know, those are great for moving around fast to the nether, but they also require a lot of redstone. Just doing something simple like this is fun. And, you know, it's easy to forget about these other forms of travel in Minecraft when you got elytras, so having this older kind of form is pretty nice. I did just break it by flipping one switch. You know, that never happened with an elytra, but there you go. This isn't with any experimental thing or anything. This is just how many minecarts it takes to break the rail. Adding in regular doors is pretty boring, and it makes it just get a little less exciting to visit your base. So by adding in different redstone doors like this, even a simple one, makes it way more exciting. You can find your boats and hoes, have a fantastic time. But look at this. I mean, you could build this with a screenshot. That's how easy the redstone is here. So even if you don't know redstone, this is a fun way to learn how to do it. And it's something that you can easily blend into your base, and then you've got a cool new way to go. This isn't just a bunch of lights. It's definitely not that big thermometer that's over in California. This is a redstone silo for your items. So as soon as the hopper behind it fills up, then fantastic. And I think if you're gonna put in the effort to build a farm, then building one of these makes a lot of sense to me. It just makes it seem that much more impressive, and it gives you a simple enough way to track how it's going. Building ourselves a map room. This is gonna be kind of interesting with all of them floating off of these, but make myself my map, put it there, and then if we were to go and get the maps for the other areas, nicely done, Observer. But I think what this proves is that even if you're not doing pixel art, like giant map art things, you can still make your maps art by just having your builds on display. I mean, having something huge like the Observer here is awesome. I'm not going to see that from any angle that I'm ever going to see while playing, but here, there you go. Well, this is kind of a tall house. What it actually is a parkour base, Observer. Oh my god, I already can't do jump number 1, dude. I'm getting kicked out of Parkour Civilization. By building this, I know that I'm one of those people who just loves to jump around the world as soon as I'm getting bored. Dan is especially one of those people. Just adding in little bits of parkour can make it pretty fun to just explore your base. Even, this is pretty obvious, but just having something simple here, you can kind of blend it into your world if you were to use like trapdoors instead. You can have secret parkour, and then leave notes to your friends and stuff up the top. I think that's cool. Yeah, just by adding these in, switching these over from regular blocks over to trapdoors, then you make something that only the true parkour masters know how to get to. Or Observer if you're using teleport commands. We've got ourselves a kelp farm. Just as fun as it is to go against and sugarcane and break them, by having these here, you can just go through, break the second tallest rung of them all, and then slurp up all of the kelp at the top. I mean, kelp's not a great food source, but using it for something like composting in a bone meal farm actually could be helpful. An Observer's gonna show an automated way of doing it here. Seamlessly harvest. It's fun whether you do it or your farm does it. Here we got an aquarium, but you'll notice that the biggest problem is that we don't have fish inside. We're gonna wanna solve that by going out and going to different coral reefs and things and looking for all the different tropical fish that you can find. I mean, there's over 2,200 variants that you can find in this game. So while we're only gonna be able to spawn a few of them here, they don't all spawn from a bucket. The truth is that if you want to do something crazy like mud flaps, this is a really big project to undertake. It's hard to call it necessarily a fun one, but I don't think you'll be bored while doing it. Just maybe don't get too close to the pufferfish ones. And then if you get sick of them, you can just add in an axolotl and start again. We got ourselves a villager house. But the most important part of this isn't actually on the ground floor, but instead the roof. What we're doing is we're making ourselves a TNT cannon on our roof. Oh. I wouldn't recommend it indoors. It seems like a good way to get rid of the neighbors who are mad at you for vandalizing their house. Hey! See, that's cool until you realize that that's still our land that we're vandalizing. This might look like a statue. It probably looks more like a portal. But what we've got here is exploring an ancient city. And while just braving an ancient city alone is cool, what I really like is the idea of converting one of these over to be completely safe. I mean, no other hostile mobs are going to spawn here, so as long as you clear it out, it's fine. But you clear out all of those, you get yourself a diamond hoe, go against this, there's plenty of XP, and no other hostile mobs, regardless of how dark it is. Observer, how's your bucket clutch? I'm not particularly great at it, if I'm being honest. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a chance to practice. It didn't seem real until I had to switch over to survival to do it. Yeah, baby! Hey! Can you do the one where you like throw it out on this and then pick it up as you fall? Observer from the top rope. Nice. Yeah, baby! See, look, even just right there, we practiced our bucket clutches and got better. What about living in your friend's walls? Taking a tunnel system like this through your friend's base is a particularly fun way to spend your time. And then you just see how long they can notice. I mean, if they already have trapdoors in their base, that's basically just asking for you to go and decorate. And you can hold sneak back there. Remember to always hold sneak while you're back there, because otherwise it will show your name tag. Even if you're crawling, it'll still show your name tag. But there you go. You can go and just hang out in your friend's base. Use this for only the nicest things. Don't go and like dig a tunnel behind their barrel and steal stuff. Or if you do, make sure it's funny. Bed mining in the Nether is a great way to get not only ancient debris, if you want to go and make a new armor set, or if you already have one, you can go and get another set of armor trims on this. But then going through, I'm going to use a respawn anchor because that'll do the same effect over here in the overworld. If you learn how to do it, then it could prepare you for bed PvP as well. Now remember, the way that you do this, we're gonna go over to the Nether. So you gotta remember, you gotta go to the end of the line here, and then place it. Yeah, so you have to step back a block after mining. Go ahead, Observer. Knock him dead. Just not yourself. Every now and then you just have the need to dig a hole. And so you can take after what I've done with my friends, which is just setting up a Haste 2 beacon and going and digging down an entire chunk. And if you want to do something cool, I remember on a server I saw a while back, they actually replicated a chunk error above the surface too. So they dug out the chunk and then they just repeated it so it looked like a whole chunk was dug right straight up past the surface. That could be pretty cool too. I mean, you're gonna have the blocks, so you could use that and make it the tower, or even have it as your own base. We did a chunk digging challenge in the July series where I had to dig out an entire chunk, and then Observer and I would use that as the basis for the blocks that we then used for building. So we made Hank Tower. Very nice, if not a little unsightly. You really have to explain this one, because otherwise people are just gonna think your world's corrupted. Observer, it's time to get some horses. Whoa, look at this. All right, we're on location. So, breeding horses, you're now actually gonna have a lot better chances of getting incrementally better horses in recent versions of the game. You're not gonna get the insane fast horses from Bedrock Edition, but eventually we can, sure enough, train our horses and make sure that they're getting better with each generation. And it gives you a cool way to walk around, especially with all those roads we built earlier. Yeah, that's how you get people to love them. You just feed them a bunch of sugar. You're just basically an enabler. There you go. But if we put our powers combined, Observer, love mode. Oh yeah, we should probably cut away for this part. Nice. Wow, they grow up so fast. There you go. Look at that. We're already getting better. Observer, let's take up a brush and a shovel. Let's get to some archaeology. Now, you only have to find one of these, like the Wayfinder, which I found first try, might I add. So, you only need to find the Wayfinder to get the achievement of all the smithing and style ones. But there are 2 other ones that you can find, as well as the music disc. It's worth going through if you find one of these trail ruins, and if you go through, you can make sure that you find all the cool things, like the pottery sherds. And making a full collection, I think it's a solid way to spend your day. Observer found the rare frog light. Bring that back to the museum. So a forest by itself looks pretty plain. But over here, we've got ourselves the rare stripped forest. And I think the idea of just going through and stripping all of the logs in a forest does make for kind of a new looking biome to explore. It's a little uncomfortable. I feel like I'm overdressed in a series of places that are very underdressed. But if you want to join the strip club, then this is a way to do it. That does make me wonder though, what's the creaking look like, the pale wood, when you strip it? Lucky you can't do this to the creaking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, look at that. Now we got an entire pale oak forest. That's cool. It is still gonna use up your axe's durability though, so watch out on that one. Oh, look at how ghastly it gets. That's neat. Observer, let's turn on moody brightness. Because getting to experience Minecraft with way less light, you realize that this game used to be a lot more akin to a horror game. And I remember how unsettling it was to play with like programmer art graphics back in the day. Just see like how eerie everything was. Even Observer right now just looks so much scarier. I mean, I probably don't look great either. I look like an SCP waiting to happen instead of an SKIP. Yeah, look at how dark this is now. So you're telling me you play through this and then you start to see a bunch of mobs spawning, you're not gonna be scared? No chance. I mean, I think there's a reason why they wanted the game to initially be at like moody brightness. Observer, I'm sorry for your loss. Because if you play hardcore mode, it instantly gives you a new way to make everything. As you can see, it instantly gives you a way to connect with the game in a way that we never thought possible. Because right there, I mean, we've died several times in this recording alone. But if a difference between trying a water bucket clutch is having your world or not, it does make it pretty depressing. Like, now I don't have Observer. That's sad. I don't like hearing the dead stir. Hello? That is so eerie. You can't use honey bottle sounds to gurgle back to life. May he rise once again. Hey! As you can see, we've killed a command block and put it on public display because the intention here is to talk about how cheating can instantly ruin the fun of your world. Now look, I get it. Some people like playing with keep inventory on. This isn't to say that one way is going to be better to play. But what I will say is that from personal anecdotes, anytime that I've ever cheated to get back stuff that I lost or teleported or used the /locate command, it doesn't make anything feel nearly as satisfying as it used to. I mean, after all, why would you care about anything in the world if you can instantly cheat like that? Taking a chance to just play the game as it's supposed to be, locking yourself off from certain things, it makes it pretty enjoyable. It's hard to say Observer doesn't look cool, though. I swear, I just did some off-camera observing. On top of banning cheating, we could also just ban items outright. So, stopping yourselves from using things like water buckets or elytra or even certain weapons or tools can make an entirely new way to play the game. I mean, if you have to all of a sudden use only an axe as your way of combat as opposed to a sword, then every fight basically feels like it's one-on-one as opposed to an AoE thing. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's okay. That felt sad. So if you want to ban items like the Observer, but as soon as you get the elytra, I know how many worlds I've played on where I speedrun to get the elytra, and then as soon as I have it, then all of a sudden the world opens up, but it also loses some of the intrigue of how things are. Everything has to get so much bigger when, you know, a little house like this just doesn't seem that impressive to fly to. You can ban the elytra, just maybe don't do it mid-air. And with that, folks, YouTube thinks that you might like this video, so see if they're right and have a good one, all right?